Welcome back. You're watching Signature Television. Of course, yesterday we had the Vice President visiting Enugu State, and it was a colorful event because that's the very first time I'm seeing the Vice President on Ishago attire. I mean, he wasn't only the person wearing Ishago attire, the governor wore Ishago attire, and some of the executives of the government of Enugu State wore that amazing attire, but it wasn't about that attire. It was about MSMEs. It was about boosting MSMEs, and we understand that beyond what have been reported already, we heard that the vice president actually dashed someone 10 million naira on the ground of that event. We have our correspondent who will speak to us regarding that event. She was there from the beginning up until the end. Chinemere Mikebonam. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning, Belinda.
You're looking good this morning.
How do you do?
I'm fine, thank you.
So it was quite colorful. I mean, with what I've seen with Ishagu, it looks so good on
Yes,
him.
it's beginning to look like it's the Enugu State uniform now.
Apparently.
Like anybody coming in from the other side comes with this particular, wears this uniform, the Ishago thing. Yes, the governors, the PDP governors did the same uniform thing. And we're having the VP also wearing the Ishago attire. It was quite colorful, yes. Although there were still some ups and downs here and there. But it was a very colorful event, actually. Yes, it was.
Tell us about the event in itself. What was the import of that event? What was it about? MSMEs, what was it about really?
Yeah, the MSME events, they had this, they commissioned the fashion and garment hub in Enugu at Entraco. So it was more like commissioning of the hub and also expanding it in national angle. So they brought out all these SMEs, the small medium enterprises, came out in their numbers, had their exhibitions, showcased a lot of things, their handcrafts, what they do for themselves, those their exports and the ones, so it was more like showcasing your skills and your acquisition. So it's also brought about people branding them to there are some of these locals like the foodstuffs that they brand and also export to other countries. So we see entrepreneurs coming out in their number to showcase what they have, and it's actually brought about expansion. It's brought about the federal government and state governments coming together to also harness this initiative. So it was more like an exhibition all the way, I guess.
Interesting. I'm particularly concerned about the issues that transpired between the vice president and someone that he gave 10 million naira. How did that go?
I think, things happen for a reason. At that point, I was like, it's obvious that the vice president came just to, for the sole purpose of, meeting this young lady and giving her something. When he was explaining it, he said he saw the inspiration, he saw the passion in her, and he felt, okay, what do you really want? And the lady said, I have 2 million, I just need 3 million to top up my gain. And he saw that zeal, that enthusiasm in her, and he decided to added an extra and give the young lady 10 mil. Like some other person said, the man bought from them and they're not even sure if what they sold to him they were going to be paid for. And you understand at that point probably it might not even be paid for, because things happen. I saw an encounter where he was asking a guy that sells boxer, how much is everything? Just tell me everything, calculate everything, and but at that spot you should be getting your payments, because after the day it's all over. Okay. But you see somebody.
So the lady in question, what exactly did she exhibit?
Yeah, she was also trying to exhibit her own handcrafts. Yeah, she did. She's into this knitting thing, so she had a whole lot. That was what she was, her own handcrafts. That was what she exhibited.
Clothes.
Yes, her clothes. That she knitted
Okay.
herself and the rest. So that was what sold her out.
Okay, we also got another thing here: the security barring pressmen.
That was actually my major challenge.
Event. Yes, can you tell us more about what happened yesterday?
Okay, Belinda, talking about the security thing, it's actually very different. I've actually experienced it being a government house correspondent where federal government is coming to states and the security from federal government gets so tight. And you see the states not even acting because as if they are pushed aside. So that was what we got yesterday. Yesterday, yes, they chose few of us from government house to go and cover that event. And unfortunately for us, we had the manifest, we have the program ourselves handy with the time of the event and the rest. What happened that even when we got to the airport, the security was so tight that we couldn't even function at the airport. So at that point, they asked us, okay, to move to the M&A access, where the commissioning was taking place or was going to take place. That when this thing is happening around past 11, an assignment that was meant to start by 10:45, you get. So it was very, very devastating. We got to the airport and we stayed there till past 11. Came to M&A and we stayed there for like till past 12. When we got to M&A, they already started selecting. They said it was not going to be, everybody was not going to come in at the same time. So they were picking those that were going online. So I was shouting, we are online, or we'll go online and direct. And they were asking me, okay, what station? So that's by the way, here and there, the lapses, they were able to just pick 2 stations or 3, that went inside. They said the whole place was tight, so they had to push us. Like I had some of my colleagues from the BBC world, we are not also allowed to come in. It was very bad. So at that point we could not work. You could not report. Even when the man came, we just tried to manage to get his arrival shot, and they went inside. The thing is that the news, we did not even know what he said, how he commissioned the place, because they did not give press access. And it was a bit disorganized. I was thinking, is it coming from the organizers? Because I understand that the SME Enugu Center also had partnered with the federal government. So I was thinking, okay, it could be from the angle of the organizer, probably that championed the Chilofia guy. But then again, it's not his fault, because I also saw him trying to push his own camera person inside, and they also bounced him back. So it was almost like a child's play. Yes, they did not recognize the government's house press, did not recognize the fact that we are coming from the government's house. So it was very, very appalling.
That's sad. Okay.
And then again, that also restricted information flow, because news was meant to be breaking at every point. But at that point, we had a bridge. If you had checked online, there was no news coming in. In fact, news started coming in about this program as of this morning. That was when some newspapers started carrying it. That was when some TV stations carried. The TV stations carried very late at night, around 10, 11, 10 a.m., 10 p.m. news and the rest. So it's breached that communication gap. So I feel if the government could look into things, they shouldn't treat press like mere commoners. You get, it's very worrisome, because we are news carriers. We are not hoodlums. At that point, they are treating us like one.
Were you guys with any ID card, to recognize that this?
The ID card then was not ID card it was not, it wasn't working. You don't understand.
Yeah.
We had the very, with your mic flag, it tells who you are. But at that point, even with the mic flag, you are not being recognized. they are pushing you away, like they don't know you. And you know, those people from the higher ups, I don't know if they're watching the back of their television, because I understand that it's not all about, you know, the common, maybe you're used to a particular channel doesn't mean that the other one doesn't exist. So you should be able to balance the two. When I say I'm a press person, I am a press person. I have my identity card, so I should be allowed to enter.
Yeah, so I'm just, you know, thinking through it now. I'm beginning to think through the disorganization that it really happened, because this is the vice president of Nigeria, and the manifest, he must have known that he was going to be in Enugu a week before now. I mean, and even the government of Enugu State knows the vice president was going to be in Enugu at least even a week before now. And then the press, I understand that manifest was even sent to you press people just hours before his arrival. Yeah. So it does mean that there's something they are trying to, they're trying to, you know, not expose his arrival or something, because again, if he had been in the news that he was going to be around a week before, I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe it might be a security breach or something. So I'm just wondering whether you think that the government was you know, was careful not to release that information and making sure that if they release it at least hours to that event, so that, you know, they wouldn't have to expose the vice president to some sort of security breach.
Okay. Yes. Then again, yes, you just going with what you said, I think I will agree with you. But if they were trying to prevent some things from happening, they also got shot in the leg at some point, because the news that was meant to be carried was not well, you know. And I don't know, but I feel, yes, probably they were trying to, because when I was coming, I entered a tricycle, and I was telling the person, please hurry, I'm going for a very serious assignment. The governor, the vice president is coming to Enugu. Hey, the vice president is going to Enugu. And people did not tell us how we prepare our pure water to throw him. So you can imagine if he was aware, because the way he was reporting, the way he was saying it, I felt he was really an antagonistic. He was antagonistic about it. So the way he was saying it, imagine if you had told this guy a week before, he wouldn't mind going there and wait for him, station himself at the airport and get ready and prepared. But then again, there are still ways around this. Right. Those security ties that you brought all the way from Abuja, and they were with, you know, all dressed all black with their muzzles and all that, could also prevent some of these things.
Absolutely.
But now they now left the hoodlums that they were going to be chasing and started chasing the press.
Well, they don't know who is who, so they needed to be sure who.
No, with your ID card. At some point, I was telling somebody, don't you know me? It was that bad. It was that bad. I was explaining myself. It was that bad.
You know, I actually even followed the movement of the vice president, but I was talking to somebody that's on the train, but I didn't see anything online. Unlike normal events that happens, you know, in normal events you start seeing pictures at 10, at 12, at 2. The stories, you know, will start developing. As at 5:30 p.m. yesterday, I was looking for just a short video to even show that the vice president of Nigeria is in Enugu, and there was nothing of such on, you know, on.
As at 5:30 p.m., some of us were angry. So we are trekking to ICC Center. People like me, we were pissed off. At some point, my fellow colleagues were like, please, can we just go home? This is not working. It's not organized. Like, people were so pissed. I said we trekked from Old Government Lodge to ICC Center to just... And when we got there, the man was already done. We didn't even know what he did there. We didn't know if he spoke. We didn't know what happened there. The man was already done with what he was doing, and they were moving to the government house to finish up with the ceremony. Wow. So it was that bad. I had so many of us were complaining. Those that were not even given the opportunity to cover, we are thanking God that they did not even cover. Some of them were like, thank God we stayed back in government house, and you know. Because both the shame, the disgrace, judging from this, okay, some persons will even say that it was an irritating assignment. So when someone says it's so irritating, you should understand everything was just very, very disorganized.
I mean, it's the vice president that came into Enugu. I'm wondering, what happens if the president was the one that came into Enugu? I mean,
We'll report from our houses. They'll send visuals, actually. We'll have to report from our houses.
but having said that, let's talk about the gains of that meeting. In that same event, the vice president mentioned the 150,000 naira grants.
Yes.
To MSME personalities.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
That's the word. Outstanding.
150,000 naira. I mean, and then the fact that this has been commissioned. What do you think that small scale businesses in Enugu State would gain from this particular event?
I feel it's more like a motivation to them. When he said that they are giving out 150 to outstanding MSc members, I felt it will boost their morale to, work hard. I
hope it's a grant, not a loan. Is it a grant or an incentive? Which one is it now?
It's coming like an incentive. He said they are giving, it's more like you take
to
and
add
invest.
To your business.
Yes. So it's not like a loan or something.
When you talk about invest, 150,000 naira in this economy, do you think it can go any long way to help them? I like
where your question is going. At some point, I was like, I feel they forgot where we are at this point, because I cannot understand the situation where a government or let me use a federal government is giving that amount as more like to add to your business. It's where I try to compare the two. You gave 150,000 to outstanding students, right? And you're not giving 10 million to someone that impressed you. I feel there's a gap.
Yes.
So it's just to, when
it's a face-off.
Yes, when the federal government comes to a state and and you not hear anything, there should be something left on the table to say this is what we did in Enugu State. So I felt that was just like the wife of the president came the other day and gave 50,000 to women. And I was wondering what women do with 50,000
for rice.
Okay, how much is a bag of rice? Okay, half bag of rice. For how many months or how many days will you and your family eat half bag of rice? So you still see that we are just poopers in their eye, paupers in their eye, and the rest. So
no, it could be monies to add to their business. It's not like monies to start off. If the start off is totally different, just add. You're not going to pay it back. You're not going to bring it back. Just add it.
That's just like what Belinda said. Add it to your business. Is it going to push? What change will it make? There's no change. It's not going to add to anything.
Small-scale businesses. I mean, if you're buying clothes, say at 40,000 naira, I mean that could give you at least 3.
The question is, Charles, there is no way you'll be buying clothes. I mean, when you talk about bail, they're buying bills for
with what
40,000 naira.
No, I mean that
bill now is not even 40. When you're talking about bill, you talk about 230, 250. That is bill for you now.
Comparing it with federal government, not the state.
I mean, it's not everybody that will wear bill. There's some people that will wear okrika. There's some people that will wear other ones that are affordable.
No.
So apparently, it's affordable.
Those ones too are expensive. They'll tell you what is the price of dollar in the market. Those ones too are expensive. So I feel it's just to show that they came. It's just to show that they came to Enugu.
Is money. Why people looking like one of these?
Yes, it's money, but it's really money. Yes, it is.
But
it is, and that was why they gave it.
Enough, it's one thing.
It is something actually.
At least
it's something.
If somebody comes and says we just want.
And if they had even said it's going to the 40,000 youths. It's different, everybody.
Okay.
But they're now putting a clause. You get that it's for the outstandings, and you don't even know how they are going to rate these outstandings. Yeah. So they might probably bring out like 5 persons.
My problem is not even whether to rate the outstanding. My own issue is whether the money is even going to be given. Because it's one thing to say it, we're giving 150,000 naira to MSMEs in Enugu, and there are 40,000, and there's another thing to actually give it. So we're going to follow up.
That's our work now to follow
up on those MSMEs to ask them, if today they have received it, and then also to mention how they rated them as one of their standing, because I really don't know how in that event they would rate it, they will rate them and then pick people who they would give 150,000 naira. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, let's leave it there. Many thanks
Thank
for
you
your
very
time. We
much
truly
for your
appreciate
time.
it. Is there any other thing you wanted to mention as regards the event
Yes,
yesterday?
I was in a discussion with Mr. Barry the other
Okay.
day, and okay, yeah, just yesterday, because I also discussed
Okay.
this news, although we did not go this fast.
Okay.
Yes, and I also told him other places that we visited
Okay.
aside the
MSME
commissioning
hub.
of the
Okay,
MSME.
so what are the
Yes,
places?
the ICC Center, which is actually a tourism hub. Like, that place is actually getting a facelift. The man is really doing a whole lot. Yes, we should give him that.
I heard it's
accolade.
80% done.
Yes.
But
Yes,
it's
you need
going to
to
be
go
ready
there.
before December 25th.
Yes,
That maybe Christmas is going to be celebrated there. I
Where,
don't know.
where
How
is it
true
located?
still in the Independence Layout towards
Okay.
that access. Yes, that is where you have it. Then again, we also went to the government house. That is the amazing thing, to visit their digital museum
They have a digital museum in government
in
house.
government house.
Digital
Okay.
museum.
Yes. So the question is, why should the digital museum be situated in government house? It would have been a perfect place if it was probably in the ICC.
Okay. Or somewhere else.
Okay, bringing in, because we would have even been seeing the digital museum, but like I said, they didn't even allow us to go and take
So
pictures
you couldn't even take
ourselves.
pictures of the
In our
digital-
own jurisdiction. We
Wow.
could not take pictures
Wow.
of the digital museum. We would have seen it for yourself, the way it was and the rest. Then also they have they already, building their command center, the control room.
What's
in
the command
government house
center
too.
about?
So it's a security control room that controls all the CCTV cameras that will be situated in the streets. They've already started mounting cameras in the streets of Enugu. So that is the control room of those CCTV cameras. So that's that. So I just want you guys to banter around it.
No, the CCTV camera, I'm just wondering. I hope it's not going to disappear. The cameras are not going to disappear with this government leaving, because mounting CCTV cameras on every street and having security, having this streets watched every day, it's a good thing. Frankly speaking, it's something that everybody wants to be sure that they're secure. No matter what happens, somebody can play back cameras and then see whatever it is that they're trying to see. But inside the government house, its location, is that where it's supposed to be? Is there police presence there? Like, are there people manning it every single minute?
Yes, I feel having that control room in the government house is an ideal, because they have security around.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get, so it's an ideal where I feel that there is I don't know what they had in mind putting a digital museum inside government
it.
house. So you can imagine students coming for an excursion and they cluster in the government house just to see the digital museum is something I don't really fancy. It would have even been somewhere in the ICC center.
Okay.
Or somewhere, we have tourism places where these things can actually be.
What's the digital museum about? What is it about? When you get in there, what do you see?
Yeah, from what I've seen, or rather what I've heard, it's actually where we have the Enugu heritage. We have from the government that actually from the old Enugu down to the present. We have pictures of our crafts,
okay.
just an exhibition of the Enugu heritage.
Oh, wow.
So, but it's coming in digital. So,
Form.
yes,
Okay.
so
Fair enough.
that is just what it is.
All right, thank you very much, Chinemere, right? Thank
Yeah.
you for your input. It's
You're
been an
welcome,
amazing
Belinda.
with you. And this is how we do it right here on Signature Morning and Signature Television. We'll be taking a short break. Do stick around.